I'm going to tell you. Okay, great.
Sorry, guys. Excuse me while there we go. Okay, well, it is 9:01 right now, and I'm going to get started with our effective open house class. We're a little shy on people, but that's okay. This is going to be recorded because it's really kind of meant to just be a general outline on what is possible in circle prospecting and using tech to kind of tech up your open house. I have with me Robin Albert from Old Republic. Please, why don't you introduce yourselves while we're here?
Hello, everybody. I'm Robin with Old Republic Title, and I brought my sales manager, Sarah, with me today.
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you very much. Well, what we're going to do really quick is I'm going to give you just a few pointers. And Robin was gracious enough to come to the meeting yesterday to talk about their OR Touch. Yeah, I always want to say MLS Touch. So the OR Touch and everything, which is an excellent product. Robin actually sold me on the Walking Farm through Chicago Title, which I use pretty much exclusively. But I actually think this app is a little bit more modern and it's a little bit more user friendly, especially since you use it on your phone. I use everything on my iPad and it gets a little cumbersome and I don't bring it with me all the time. So that's one of those things. But let's get started. Basically, what we're going to go over today is we're going to talk about open houses. The reason why I'm doing this class, because nobody asked me to do anything in this office, we really are doing it because the listings are selling a little slower right now, and we really need to start building up our inventory of buyers. Um, the listings will sit, so there's a little bit of time between paychecks, but being able to secure a buyer that needs to buy right now and to give them the information if you're trying to, amass, wealth in the nation and everything, it starts by buying a house. You're either going to pay off your equity, you're going to gain natural equity from the markets. And I think Robin and I were going to work on a project, but of course I forgot about it. We were going to go back to the 2003, 2007 era, where there was a lot of people that bought kind of on the high side. There was overbidding going on. Even those people that bought at that time actually are going to make equity and would have made money if they would have just held on to their properties. So in the long run, short-term, loss and psychological hit to people. But honestly, if they would have held on to their properties, they probably would have made a lot of money if they held on to it. Lots of real estate agents bought lots of properties. But anyway, so we're going to secure the slot, which would be showing you how to look at our inventory of real estate properties that you can do your potential open houses on. Teching up for success, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a few tricks, how to use some of the tech that's available, openhome.com, some other things to help you with your check-ins. I'm going to show you some cheap ways to do that as well. The hyper-local intel I'm going to actually show you how to do that both with Robin doing the circle prospecting and showing what's around the properties, as well as using AI to help you with your information. You want to sound like the area expert when you go into these open houses. If you're not familiar with like some of these subdivisions, especially the newer subdivisions where there's things going in all over the place, and we're not yet figuring out what's going to be there, that will help you with that. And of course, Robin's going to round everything out with the circle prospecting and upkeep. So I'm going to move on to our next slide. Okay, securing the spot's really easy, and I just want to actually literally do this for you guys. So I'm going to head over to the MLS and log on. And it is a very easy process. Of, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a standard search in the MLS, and we're going to look for single family residences. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it to Fresno, Clovis, and nowadays Madera, because there's, Riverstone and places that are very, close to Fresno. And what you want to do is you want to choose the active properties, which are the properties that are available on the market. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the listing office ID, which in our case is 90. Okay. We were one of the first offices in Fresno. Well, the first, but so our number is very low compared to other offices. And that will show you that there's 18 properties available on the market right now. And actually, that's really weird because it was 21 last night and then it was 19. Is that right?
We have 42 listings because I added some extra signs.
Uh-huh.
Because we were starting to run panels. I was like, oh my gosh. So our inventory is slipping.
Okay, I don't know if everybody, well, Deborah, I think you're the only person online right now, but I don't know if you heard Sandra, but she was saying that our inventory has been dwindling since January, and actually it's actually gone down 3 properties since last night. So that's pretty amazing. So out of those 18, these are the properties that you can pick from. And you can easily just, look at the zip codes and see which properties or areas that you'd want to pick to choose from to do your open house. If you go to the display, excuse me, actually, if you go to the display, then you'll be able to look at the front photos of the properties and maybe ask. I'm glad that Jessica is here. The process that we would do is, of course, you would want to call the listing agent and ask them if the properties are available on the weekend that you're going to choose. And since the properties are on the market a little bit more, a little bit more time now, it's going to allow you to do the circle prospecting that Robin is going to talk about. Because it used to be I'd list a property on Wednesday, shoot out to social media, get the open house done on Saturday, and then we'd be having an offer on Monday. It's not quite that way anymore. So you'll be able to prospect around the property a little bit before you do your open house, which is going to be advantageous for you. Each property, if you're the listing agent, should have, I think it's 4 legs, right? You've got the listing, which you can get paid on. There's potential for you to have the buyer side on that property. Of course, there's, other properties that you would pick up from there. And of course, you got to think of the long term. Whoever you put into the property and that person that you're selling is potentially going to be buying another property. So one listing or one open house has the potential for a lot of business if you do it right. And we're going to try to do that right. So right here in the middle is the listing agent that you can be calling. And this one I think is it in Auberry? I don't know if everybody's familiar with the foothills and everything like that, but they don't do open houses in the foothills. They always go, oh, you flatlander real estate agents always come up here and think you can do an open house. Nobody comes. I've done a bunch of open houses and people still come, but it's kind of frowned upon, I guess, in the real estate agents up there. But hey, if you want to do an open house up there, I think it's still more power for you. So anyway, but that's that portion of the presentation that I wanted to go over with you guys really quick. So that's how you figure out how, what properties we have in our inventory, and just go and ask the agents for the dates that are potentially there. I did run, there's a way to pick the properties that are just vacant properties. And unfortunately, out of those 19 properties, I think there's only 4 properties that are vacant. So you will have to work around people's schedules to do those open houses. Okay, this is the portion that I'm supposed to be talking about. It's the tech up portion. Spacio and Open House Pro, they are actually programs that you would run on like an iPad or such. I actually brought mine over with, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I was gonna get on Zoom, but I didn't get enough time to get on there. But this is the iPad Pro that I use for my open houses. And let's see, open. And this is basically what the program is. You're going to put in the information about the property, photographs and whatnot, and you can begin the open house. And what it does is it does a slideshow of the property. And then anybody that checks in, you say, please, would you check in, and hit the touch. You put in your basic information. You can ask it for different types of information, but I usually just ask for a name and an email address so I can follow up with them, and hit continue. That gets emailed back to me, and then I can follow up with them after the fact. So that is a nice way to do it, but I think there's a limit of about 25 people that you can write in for free, and then after that it's $20 a month. I think it's something similar like that with Spacio, right? Is that what Max said yesterday? Something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use the Moxie website to create a QR code or a link that you can use for free. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get out of this presentation really quick. Actually, hide this thing again. And I'm going to show you how to do it through MoxieWorks. Sorry, guys. And it's actually very easy. Oops, should have logged in before. I have my push through my phone, through my watch, so I actually don't have to log in. Sorry, guys. This will be really quick. I lied. Maybe it's not that quick. You guys seeing the same thing as me? Okay. Oop. There we go. All righty. So I am going to go to the Moxie website. So everybody's got like a stock website that they've built or they've got custom pages. This custom page is really easy to build. It's just a form and it's actually hidden in my inventory of pages on my website. And so I'm going to go to site pages, all pages. And then towards the bottom, these are the pages that I have available for my site. There is a open house hidden link. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I think I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, there we go. And this is just a little page that opens up. They can put in their name, email address, phone number. Let's just go ahead and do it. It's okay to contact me and hit send. The nice thing about this is actually the lead gets generated through this site and it's sent directly to your Moxie Engage. So I don't think I have the notification sent in, but I will get a notification email that that person has signed in and everybody that's in there should be. So by refreshing this page, you can set up for the next client. And this is the beauty of it. I'm on Chrome right now, and I think that was the notification. If you right click on this page and hit create QR code, you can create this QR code and put that on your, like just print it out on a piece of paper or go to Canva and put it in a nice presentation. And I think I did that for you guys already. Okay, we talked about Spatio. And by hitting that QR code, they can check in, to your open house, and then you'll have good data already saved from there. So that's one of the ways that you can use it. And it's really easy because this address right here on top, all you have to do is copy that and email that to yourself. And let me just do it just for. And then I can go on my iPad and go ahead and pick up my email. And you'll see this is the link right here. If you click on that, it'll open up the same result as you saw on the big screen. So all they have to do is fill in their information. All you have to do is refresh the page, and then you'll be able to collect their data for free. So if you guys need help with that, I'll help you. I'll help you set it up. It's actually really easy. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Okay. QR codes. Oh, that was the the demo for the sign-in page. I'm sorry. I think I jumped one step ahead of myself. The other thing that you might want to have at an open house is this QR code. This is the example that I actually wanted to show you guys. This QR code will take you to the Moxie Present that I have that has the data about the property. So if people are saying, hey, seems like this property is a little, too expensive, are you sure it's priced well for this market? You can say, hey, scan this QR code. This is all the data that I have when I derived the price for this property. The whole present will be in there. You already have done it when you got the listing for the property. If the listing agent is willing to share that information with you, you can also use that data when you're doing the open house to, kind of highlight the value of the property. Yes, comps and everything. So I'm going to actually go back. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that I was going to add on as QR codes, and I might as well do it right now while things are kind of loading up. This property I had listed, and I ended up selling them a property in Vegas. So that was a terrible one. Sold my property in Vegas because their son is attending a school down there. And he decides that he doesn't like the school. So they end up moving back, and we had to sell their house in Vegas instead of selling their house in Fresno. So this is the present for that particular property. And if you'd like to do that QR code, it's just like the other one. This is the present that's open. Right click on it, create QR code, add that QR code to your whatever your document is that you'd like to use, like the one that I had on there. The other thing that I like to keep with me, and it started out as kind of just a Bob and I were talking about it, is that there's a lot of people that'll come into your open house and they're like, ah, man, this isn't the house for me. And then they just kind of wander off, and you're hoping that they'll call you back and ask you for some more information. What you can do is you can also showcase all the other properties that are available in the area. And that's really easy to do using the Moxie Present as well. So instead of, zeroing in on a particular property and really narrowing down the comps, you want to actually take out all the data information and maybe just go a half mile from the property so that you can see in total what's available. Hey, honestly, if you're not the listing agent, you don't have to sit at that open house all day. If someone comes in and they said, yeah, we're looking in the area, but this one's not for us. Well, there's one up the street. Maybe I can make an appointment for you guys and we can go take a look at it if you're like, oh, really? You're trying to cater to their needs and everything. So that might be something that you might want to use. And this could do it for you. I'll show you how to do it really quick. It's super easy to do. So this is Moxie Present. You're going to create a new presentation. And I actually already have one saved, but I'll actually do it for you guys so that we can do it from scratch. And we're going to create, there's a little circle that's going to come out depending on, oh, that's actually pretty fast today. So we're going to make this presentation very quick. What was that address on that property? Oh, house. Oh, man. I'm just going to make up an address and we would normally fill in all this data and everything like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the next task. So this is how we narrow in on the area. Let's say if the property was, I don't know, right here in Fig Garden. You would do a radius search in Fig Garden and start pulling away from it. That might be too big. And then hit run search. And then on the left-hand side, it will pop up all the properties that are available in that area. Now, right now it's got active solds and everything. So we're going to go to the filter and we're going to uncheck all these items and the solds. And all we want are the active properties. We're not going to have any values in here. We're going to hit apply and it's only, well, actually I have the pendings in there too. Only those properties are going to be available. What we're going to do is include all and then go to the bottom of the page. Those properties will be in that QR code. And what you want to do is you want to go from active to sold, and you want to go from prices low to high, just like an appraisal is. Oops. Hit continue. And what you're going to get at the next page is where, well, these estimates, it doesn't matter. We're not actually deriving a price. There's no pages available. So what we're going to do is we're going to add pages from library, and these are the pre-made pages. So we're going to add a cover page. The property summary, we actually don't need because we're not doing any particular property. We want the listing location map, and that's about it. What you can do also is add your agent profile so they know how to contact you. And then we're going to review this. So this is what they're going to see when they scan the QR code for all the properties that are available in the neighborhood. So they're going to see my cover page. Whoops. And they're going to see all the available properties in the area. So they're like, wow, we didn't see any of these things on Zillow or whatnot. Maybe they did, but they can individually go through those properties and have a look at it. And if they happen to be doing it right there at the property, then you might be able to actually show them those properties at that time, or maybe they can contact you, reach out to you after the fact. So one last tech tip. I promise this will be the last one. Shoot, I didn't put Juan Carlos's thing. Juan Carlos is the, in most cases is the photographer that everybody uses. He has a really great, actually didn't do it all. He has a really good web page that 360. That you can utilize. And when I'm at properties and people, and this happens all the time, you'll be at an open house and they'll maybe be interested in the property, or maybe their spouse or somebody's not available. They'll go, hey, would you mind if I took a video of the property? I'll say, yeah, sure, you could do that, but I can one up that. I can give you the professional photography, the 3D tour, and the videos that are available online. If you please give me your phone number, I already have it copied and pasted onto my phone. And then I can just text it over to them. They'll have that information. They'll have my information because it's all written on Juan Carlos's site. And that usually helps me a lot. And it's kind of a nice tricky, well, I guess it's not a tricky way, but it is a way to get contact information if they didn't leave their phone number. Okay, and this is what they're going to see. The site's not active. Okay, that one's already undone. But it does have all the photography, all the photos, all the 3D tours will all be included in Juan Carlos's splash page. So if there's any doubt that, they didn't see something online, like maybe you got to the very bottom, they'll see it all on this medium. Okay. I am going to cut myself off right there and allow you guys to work with Old Republic Title with Robin. And did you need to get on the OR Touch or do you want to get online?
Let's just have a chat first.
Okay.
Let's talk about open houses and circle prospecting, a couple of things, ideas that we have, and what you guys can do. That was amazing. So anything Mitz offered you guys today, I was very impressed. If I came in and, I mean, you don't have very much time when they're looking through the house. So if you could find some way to give them not just the comparables in the area, but what's available. Maybe they don't like that house. Maybe it's got a stink or whatever's going on, but I really like that. And if you can send them like the video, that's amazing. Seems very high tech for me, but so when you guys are doing an open house, do you send out open house invitations to the neighbors? And how many do you send? Mitch suggested if we did circle prospecting around your open house, that we do 100. We usually kind of say 25 because it depends on how much you want to walk, or if you want to mail, what your budget is. If you don't have any money, you've got time. So you've got time to walk. So you can circle prospect, 100. You can do owner occupied. You can do everybody probably in that area is probably the best way to do it. And then are you doing a special open house for like an hour before or on a Friday night, twilight, just for the neighbors? Anybody doing that?
Tried that.
We did one.
And it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it was good, actually.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they want to know who's going to move into their neighborhood, especially if it's on their street. Maybe their brother, their sister, their kids, maybe a friend. They want to tell them about that house because they know that house. So don't forget about sending out an open house invitation. We have different sources. I don't know what kind of sources you have, and I don't want to step on any toes, but if you need a source, I know you can probably make one on Canva. I think that's perfectly acceptable to walk and drop that. If you want a postcard, we partner with Corfact, and then I'm signed up on Breakthrough Broker, and they all have a whole open house kit and everything through Breakthrough Broker, which you guys can utilize as well. So what are you suggesting? How many days in advance to get that invitation out?
You can do it a week ahead of time. I think that would be great, but if you can just do it a few days ahead of time, that's fine.
Yeah. And so we are happy to run those lists for you, send it over in whatever fashion you'd like. We can sit with you and show you how to do it on our OR Touch app. And in fact, if you signed up yesterday, you're going to get an email today with all your login and passwords. And if you'd like me to sit with you and show you specifically, I'm happy to do that at any time. But yes, so we 100 around that property, you can send out, walk and drop, depending on what your budget is. You either have time or money. And so once you get there, I think, how many of you do thank you cards after your open houses? Maybe if you get 17 people that come in, maybe you send 5 or whatever it is, but make sure you send out, hey, I really enjoyed, thank you so much for stopping by. If you know anybody, that kind of a thing, or maybe have some pre-written. And then if you know the person's name, you can address it to them and send it to them. Or if you get their phone number, you can, call them or text them or whatever works for you guys. It's just a appreciation. It's just something a little bit extra special for that. Well, there you go.
Also, like if I were a buyer, that would, or even just a neighbor, that would make me connect with you as a real estate agent to refer you. Cause I felt that connection.
So I don't do open houses.
Yeah.
anymore, But back in the open house day, I would, if a neighbor came through, I would make sure when they said they were a neighbor, I knew which house they lived in. Well, which house do you live in? Oh,
Yes.
we lived at, I would stalk them
Yes.
and find out. I would watch them. Where are they going to? And write down that address and then absolutely send them a thank you card and then put them on my CMA trip.
You can do that, and you can do an unsolicited CMA and drop it off on their front porch or send it in the mail, whatever works. Something, maybe they are thinking of moving, but they just don't know what's available. So.
The best tips I think are Joe Cerrone.
Mhm.
He had an open house class, and his goal when he does an open house is to, when he leaves at 4 o'clock, to go see someone's house. Not because they're selling, but because he stopped them. And when they come in and they say, oh, well, we built a pool. Oh, our house is like this, but we redid the kitchen. He's like, oh, I would love to come see your kitchen. Can I, after my open house, can I stop by and see your kitchen? Can I stop by and see your pool? They love to show you their home.
Yeah.
And once you've entered a home, you're gonna market them forever until they sell.
Like vampires.
And that was his major thing. Like he knew when he does an open house, he is going to see somebody else's house in the neighborhood.
So the open house sign-in sheet or the sign-in computer that they showed yesterday, does that automatically send a thank you for
That
coming
one,
by?
I think
Or
the paid version that
Yeah, I think paid.
Max was talking about. Yeah.
so paid, if you have money or time, you can handwrite a note, which people love handwrite notes, handwritten notes. No. Yeah.
I usually will send the seller a thank you for allowing me to do the open house by video. But there's no reason why you couldn't let everybody on the list know, hey, there was 10 people at this open house. Thank you for attending. You know, if you want me to send you some more properties, you know, that would be a nice.
What a great idea that's to do a video.
Well, that's
with your
Robin's
seller.
idea. I just added to it.
Robin, that's a great idea. I've never thought of that, but what a great idea to communicate after. They're just
Absolutely.
waiting for you to communicate.
They are, absolutely.
And as a reminder for new agents that are doing open houses, I know you're really good at this, Nicole. When you do an open house for any agent, you want to make sure that when you at 4:30, you communicate something to that agent so that they can send it to their seller.
Yep.
You know, hey, I had 10 people through, had good feedback. I had someone, an agent came through with a card. Here's the agent's information. That is your job to communicate to those agents that you're letting them, or they're letting you sit at their open houses. You got to communicate because crickets are not good, and the sellers want to know.
Right. We have a really nice property profile with comparables. And we can go out as far as you need for those. If you want to go out, half a mile or whatever, and it's in color. It just looks really nice if you wanted to order that in advance, and we can FedEx it to you, bring it to you. And so you'll have it available to have at the open house if anybody wants to look through it, or if you want to give it away to somebody that seems very interested or wants to take it to their relative or anything like that. We offer that. So I think that's kind of nice. You can do it for a listing presentation, or you can also have it at your open house. Yeah. So there's lots of ideas, free, not free. I mean, what are you guys doing? Are you guys kind of like the information person when they walk in? Are they being greeted, and are you handing your card, or what is the protocol with that?
I send out postcards.
No, when you're at the open house.
Oh, I have my spiel that I usually give, that just.
Tell us your schmeal.
I want to know the schmeal.
Basically, what I do is I have the statistics memorized for the property. I ask the sellers if they have any stories about things that happened in their property. Oh, we had a wedding in our backyard, or, oh, this is where we grew up, we raised our children and they went to college and all this other stuff. I mean, just little stories about the people without divulging too much information about the people because it's private. It's really nice, because it makes the people feel comfortable that, oh, this is a family. You can't say family house. This is where somebody raised some children, or this is where they.
Are you allowed to talk about schools in the area, and, we're
Yes,
close to
of course.
Starbucks and
Mhm.
Vons or whatever, things like that,
So,
that you think.
but that delivery, the informational thing, I usually let people walk on their own. And then if they come back and they want to chat, that's when we really start to just be, talk about ourselves and things of that nature and everything. You can tell when people are just very standoffish and everything. So you let those people be, and then just ask if they have any questions at the end.
I am very standoffish, I think, like at the stores and stuff. I'm interested. I wouldn't be there if I wasn't interested. So don't take that as a negative thing if they are. Anything else you want to say about what kind of farms we can provide? Any kind of farms that you guys need, and I can walk you through the how to run it on your own. We can go into the OR Touch. You can do it on the walking farm app or on the profile. It allows you to pull a radius or a polygon around that property. So if we want to do a radius search around that property and go out a half a mile, or whatever it is that you're looking for, I can show you how to do that, or we can do it for you.
The thing about you guys, if they're using your information, you guys pick up for sale by owners.
Yes, correct.
Whereas, when we're looking at things and we're only doing a radius, remember that, we're not getting for sale by owners on the MLS. So they have information that we don't have, and your clients are gonna wanna know.
Yeah, when we run
And that's
comparables
sellers, buyers,
and on our tools, the for sale by owners are gonna show on there. So it'll be a little bit, added bonus if you need,
That is an added.
yeah, yeah.
Because if you know those things, a lot of times they don't know. They can't find that information on Zillow. So we want information that they can't find.
Anything else you want me to go over?
Yeah, I can add to something.
Okay.
All right, how about that?
Yeah.
Real quick. Robin, actually, I think Robin brought it to my attention originally from Chicago Title. Sorry, this is, Old Republic Title, but But Old Republic titles database and everything actually can be manipulated to be entered into Moxie Engage automatically. So they can actually pull out the database in the correct lines that you would need. Normally, you would have to take the data and manipulate them to fit in the files that work with Moxie Engage and everything. Theirs actually spits it out. You just upload it. And the cool thing about it, and I ran into this a few times, it's good to have a big database, but you don't want a database that's so huge that you can't remember what was going on. So once you import that database for that open house, like let's say you did 300 people and you worked for, that farm for a few months and there, nothing turned up. Based on the day that you had that open house, you can actually delete that data out as well. So you're not having to toil with all these names. You're like, man, what is this? I mean, I can't remember the information and everything. So that can actually be, omitted if it's not working out for you. Of course, if it is working out for you, don't delete it because that's going to be something that you can be working long term.
Robin, on your farm, they can buy, phone numbers and emails, correct? And it's very inexpensive. They're 8 cents a piece. Yeah, so 8 cents a piece. So if you're doing an open house and you want to go out and do what Robin's suggesting and you're not a walker, you can buy that information for 8 cents a piece.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah.
do 25 of them every time. And try it.
You may not just get one, you might get 4 phone numbers.
Oh, cell phone number and home number, right? Very cool. Very cool.
Amazing price.
I want to add to that as well because we're talking kind of about modern technology and phone numbers, Facebook, things like that. Cephas Butler was an agent here at the office. He'd been around before I got into real estate and everything. He's a very interesting character. He worked the Fresno High area with Mel Kilner, and they kind of used to go at it and everything. His whole philosophy was, I'm going to outlast this guy. Of course, he didn't because he ended up moving up to Palo Alto, and now he sells bazillion-dollar houses. But his thing was, he had a simple flyer that he printed out every week with the latest sales and latest actives for the blocks that he worked, and he would stapled it with a rubber band. It was just a printout and he'd hang it on the doors and he had tons of listings. I think he was a good 30 to 40, property producer, and in those days, and that was a lot. But I mean, simple like that, as long as you're doing it in the long run, this is a short run thing for this open house. We're going to be doing the circle prospecting, but if you want to really farm an area, that's something that you can do. And it's as easy as that. Only cost you a few dollars to print out those documents and hang them on the doorstep. And believe it or not, it works. So nowadays, everybody's got nice door hangers and things like that, but that costs money and we're just getting started. So the possibility is as easy as that. So.
Free door for anybody that needs that. You might have to staple your card on it or.
Mhm.
But if you have time or money, if you just have time and you want to walk and drop some door hangers, we have those available for you as well. And she said those were free. You put your card in. Just have to ask.
I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, but I did want to mention one thing, and I think it was something that Michael had brought up, Michael Gutierrez. When you're doing these open houses and everything, and one of the things about door knocking, if you're going to door knock or pass out anything for the previous to the open house, ask the listing agent for the seller's name. Okay. And when you're going to those houses, and knocking on the door and inviting them to your open house, like let's say if you're having a half an hour before your open house for sellers only, mention their name because then it's a more warm, conversation. Hey, Max up the street, is having an open house and I'm going to be opening it up for the sellers. If you'd like to come by, when you start associating it with people, you're in. And that kind of, makes it a more easier conversation. Oh, they're not selling me something. They're just being informationable. And, wow, this guy's actually out there walking the neighborhood. Maybe we should list with them the next time or something. That kind of thing will make your job a lot easier. So just remember that one little tip and it doesn't make it as scary. So.
Something else when you're doing open houses for agents, make sure that those listing agents are putting their open house out there in time for you guys. You guys can't go into the MLS and put and advertise the open house, the listing agent needs to do that. Or Laura can do it, I can do it for you, but, Mitz can do it, but if
Like
you
that.
guys don't get that out there and they forget, because they do forget, they forget to, and when when you're doing these, ask them to put your name on there, so that people see that, okay, it's Nicole is doing this open house at this time, so make sure that they're taking that initiative for you, not just 24 hours before. Plan your open house, 5 days ahead, and make sure that listing agent is advertising for you.
Yeah, and then do me a favor, because I'm challenging. So many people say that people go to the open houses because of the sign, but whenever I have an open house, I ask them, hey, how did you find out about the open house? And they always say they found out about it online. So these are different for psychology. I don't care. I carry about 4 or 5 signs, and I know a lot of people carry like 10, 15 signs. So it just depends on, maybe you might miss some people, but I think the majority of people come from online information. So getting that data online is super important. Gosh, there's one more thing I wanted to say, and now I forgot about it. Um, Open house, signs. Man, Robin sucks to get old, man. I remember what I wanted to say. It was something Sandra said just right now. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys, but anybody else have anything they'd like to add or any questions that you guys have? I know, April, you haven't done one yet, but uh, Nicole, is there anything that you want to share? Maybe a victory that you had or some experiences that you have some questions on?
I would say, just the importance of like, the importance of like following up right after the open house, cause you get tired and you forget about it, then you find it next week and you're like, I haven't reached out to any of these people, so, yeah, just even if you're tired, or like try to plan your day so that, you have a little extra time after, so that, you can text people or try to make it easy and have it automated, but whatever you can do so it gets done and then you follow.
I know why I handed you the microphone right now, because that reminded me what I wanted to talk about. You're the social media lady, right? So the importance of putting it on social media. I try to start off all my open houses with a little walkthrough. You can do a Facebook Live and actually post it onto century21.com. So it will be listed up there under the headings of virtual open houses. The times will be available and it will stay on there for a few days. Facebook Live, it's on there. I was doing one at this property and this guy stopped me. It's actually on Facebook. And I'm going, hey, this is Mitz, this is a 3-bedroom, whatever. And he goes, hey, are you a real estate agent? I'm like, oh yeah, And, so that kind of ruined my video, but I actually got a listing appointment with them. We didn't end up listing their property. They ended up staying there, but it was an opportunity. So the other thing would be to post up, while you're at the open house. My buddies are all like, oh my gosh, you're not watching the game right now? What's wrong with you? Because it belonged to the 49er Empire. And they're like, no, I'm at an open house, but look at this pool. And like, yeah, that's nice. But that's, I think, something that, can start conversations amongst your sphere.
Actually, something I would like to add. So I know many of you guys have a Facebook account that's just for your business. And there is a way that we can do this where we run a farm for all of the emails and the phone numbers within the neighborhood. And so you can actually promote your open house or your listing through Facebook.
Awesome.
So we can run the farm.
Does that have to be a business account, you
It
said?
has to be a business account. So it only works if you have, your Jordan Lee business account. But we run the phone numbers and we run the emails. And then you can upload that into your Meta business account. And it will actually promote your listing or your open house through social media, and it'll show up on their feed.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. Is that paid? That's paid.
It's paid, so money or time, but yes, it is a paid listing that you can run through your business account.
Let's
So that is an option.
Let's try that. That sounds like
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that you can do that through your Facebook business account, but yes, you can run paid ads, and if you run a farm for the neighborhood and you run their phone numbers and their emails, because their Facebook is connected to their email account, you can actually boost your listing through their Facebook.
Wow.
Crazy big brother, but yes.
That's super,
Boy, that's awesome.
that's super big.
It is huge.
I think that's teching it up. That goes under teching it up.
Honestly, in see, when you look at those top producers that are producing, they're outselling us by millions and millions of dollars, they figured out just those sort of things. Right. I mean, everyone's on there, and if you can figure out something that you're hitting with the phone, that's where you're going to get repeat business and business from.
Yep.
That's
Facebook is huge.
that's
It's
a
really
huge tech thing.
underused. It's a really underused tool.
Yeah.
Because I know personally, I probably log into Facebook 20 times a day. It's really bad, but think about if you could be marketing to
Yeah.
those people who
Yeah.
are doing what I'm doing and mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
While I'm waiting for my coffee, you know?
So you can do that too, then I would just assume that you could do your farm like I farm Harlem Ranch.
Absolutely.
You can do Harlem Ranch and just run your ads.
Same as with your open house, you can farm for a listing that way.
That's really cool. We're Robin, we're really gonna have to do that. Well, let's set up a time. Maybe we can set up a day where,
To bear with me, but I can help you guys get through that.
Well, one of us will have a meta that you can help us get through.
Yeah.
it.
I have a business account, so, okay, good.
You have a business account.
Although I've been told that it's probably better to use your personal account, but that's okay. We got both, right? So, yeah, okay. Vince, you got anything you want to add? Come on, come on, come on.
You're running ads for your team?
Oh, yeah. For open houses, we run ads. I'm a little bit different than Miss. It's gonna be a minimum of 12 signs automatically. Anybody who does my open houses now, it's a minimum of 12 signs. And I'm adamant, if your open house is at 11 AM or 1 PM, those signs are up by 8 in the morning. If there's a church nearby, a school, you better do your research, make sure the events are there. Actually, I'm putting together a whole thing, about 20-page presentation actually for open houses that I've been working on for about 2 weeks now.
Nice.
And it's gonna be just simply the standards of practice for what I prefer my team to do, or anybody who does an open house on my listings. And it's simply things like that. Be ready, be prepared, have your information, door knock. I truly believe if an agent was really adamant about it, if you held 5 open houses a week, and there's nothing wrong with doing an open house Wednesday at 6 PM.
No, I used to do it all the
Yeah.
time,
If,
all the time.
if you hold open 5 open houses a week, you will have more business than probably 75% of agents in Fresno. I
Yeah.
do believe that.
I think you're right. Right now, it's the psychology that it's slow, why people don't do it. But
And you know what?
yeah,
Slow means that everyone else is slow, and that's great. If you guys all think it's slow, yeah, it's slow.
yeah,
Have fun being slow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for me. It's more business for me.
it's all in here, right?
It's all
Yeah.
business for me. If it's slow, hey, go on vacation. Have a good time. Go ahead. Because realistically, right now, the summertime especially is our busy time. Get out there. Don't be afraid of it. Open houses Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The first one I did, I remember agents were laughing at me. You don't do open houses on Memorial Weekend. It's a Monday. What's wrong with you? I had the most open visitors of that open house that they've ever seen in that listing.
Mhm.
And it's just do it. Don't let someone tell you no. Have fun with it. Prove them wrong. If they're right, okay, good for you. Next. Now find out what works.
So, something I wanna say, I've been harping on investing in your own open house signs, I'm big on that one. You have to have your name, that's your chance to get your name out there, But, definitely invest in the top, of your open house, you can invest in,
The name writers.
Monday 1 to
Oh.
4, Monday 4 to 5, invest in some of those, when the foreclosures hit, I just bought all of those, I had 10 of them for every sign that I could change. A Friday afternoon, I would do Friday afternoons, Thursday, Wednesday, I did open houses constantly, and there were so many times I just sat there. But you can market, you can do other things while you're sitting there, you're just sitting in the office doing nothing. I definitely sold my first home from the open house, so, open houses are good. We have people who have gotten listings lately from the open house, so.
Speaking about Mel Kilner, when I first started in the business, I was following his style of
Mhm.
open houses, and it was 20 signs minimum.
Mhm.
And it was, I mean, every corner you saw them over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Our team right now has 36 signs. We're ordering probably another 24 more.
If you guys didn't know who Mel Kilner was, he used to wear a bow tie,
He was
and
wearing a
that
bow
was
tie,
his
right?
logo on all his stuff and everything, which is genius.
At the end of the day, if you do enough open houses, it's free, it's easy, especially here. Where I was transplanted from, they had to pay for color copies. Here we don't. So you do everything for free, and it's your time and your investment. And if you're telling me you're in the office on a Tuesday morning, you have nothing to do, print out some signs, print out some flyers, we're door knocking neighborhood, do an open house that day. You don't need to give candy, you don't need to give all the extra stuff, just simply go and do it. And do them once and learn what you've learned, and what you didn't do right, do it right next time. What doesn't work, don't do it again. After about 2 months of just doing them 5 days a week, I guarantee you'll be in business.
Yeah.
You'll be in so much business, everyone's gonna copy you, wanna be you. So, and if someone tells you you can't do that, tell them go fly kite.
My buddy Chris and I used to do open houses all the time. We had a lot of listings because we both sat on a lot of foreclosures. We did them so often that we were getting tired of doing open houses on those same houses, so we started swapping, which is actually kind of fun because you get to talk about something different. You see different people because they're in different areas and everything, so it's kind of a fun thing. Back in the old days, I think texting had just been invented, and we're like, "What are you doing? Open house? What are you doing? Open house?" So just kind of fun. But anyway, I mean, it's definitely something that's time's come. We gotta start generating buyer leads, and this is the time to do it. So, alrighty, anybody else got anything else to add, Jessica?
Put out there.
Just a reminder that as long as you're doing our own brokerage, you are representing the seller and you do not need any sort of buyer representation agreement. It's a good idea to maybe have some printed out on hand in case you come up with a buyer who wants to go see something else. You'll need to have that discussion at that point. There is the open house sign-in sheet form that CAR created that states you do not represent the people coming through, but it's not required, and I don't think anybody's using it. Okay.
Thank you. Vince, you have one?
Actually, statistics, 2015, about 45% of homes, individuals came into open houses to find their homes. Now with technology, it's a bit different. It's only about 4 or 5% that actually purchased a home through the open house. They went to find it. And with that being said, the caveat is gonna be still about 40 to 60%, it's a wide area, I know, of buyers and agents first get introduced at an open house.
Yes.
So it's not about selling the house, it's about getting your business.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're interviewing that agent at that time. Yeah.
Completely, it's about.
Thanks, Vince. Yeah, like I said, I met some of my core friends through open houses. So,
So I'm gonna tell a super fast, funny story.
come up here,
So
Sandra.
my first open house that I ever did, I was absolutely scared to death. And I did it all by myself. And this lady pulls up and she's in this really fancy, beautiful Jaguar. And so she comes in and the girl that was training me had told me, don't tell people you're new. Just keep that to yourself. Do not tell anyone that you're new because they won't use you. And I was in a mentor program, so I had someone that was going to help me. I really knew nothing about real estate at all, knew nothing about the contract hardly. Just, here I am at my first open house. And so she comes in and she says, oh yeah, I want to buy my daughter a home. And, we talk about her pretty car and everything. And she's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to use you. And I blurted out right away, I'm brand new. I'm like, my mentor told me not to tell you, but I just have to tell you. She's like, don't tell my husband that. Do you understand? She goes, but we're going to use you because I really like you. And so, we met with her husband, and anyways, they've been long time friends of mine now, and I've sold probably 5 or 6 homes for them throughout the years. But I just blurted out I was brand new, and he laughs because we kept it a secret from him. She was like, do not let him know because he won't use you. He's and he's a sharp businessman, and we laugh about it now that, I was brand new. But yeah, so you can blurt it out or not, but
don't be afraid because you're brand new. You have, you, almost all of you are in a mentor program. You have someone that you could write it up. You have me on the weekends. You have people that are, you know, you have Century 21 sales behind you. So don't be afraid. Okay.
I think that's it. I actually got the opposite. I actually wrote up an offer. It was cold one day and I was wearing a black suit. I used to wear a suit every day and I had a black turtleneck on and had gloves on. And it was cold that day, you know? This lady pulls up in a, what is that thing called, man? It's a really nice British car. And she asked me to wait outside the open house. And I'm all, well, that's weird. It's cold outside, right? And then like she went through and she goes, okay, well, I think I'm buying this property for my boss. You know, he wanted a condo near Fig Garden. And she goes, would you write it up for us? I go, sure. And I go, why'd you ask me to stay outside? She goes, you look like you were going to strangle me. And I was like, no, she flung me in the open house. I'm having an open house. So I thought that was funny.
Oh, yeah, we
Anyway.
should talk about safety tips, right? Open
Uh,
houses,
that's-
for sure. We should hit on that. It's a dangerous job. You're you're a sitting duck. And then if you have advertised on Facebook, they see your cute little face out there, and a lot of us are women. And so you do have to be careful. I would always suggest team with somebody. Unfortunately, you got to split the money if somebody does want to write it up, or you have to split the clients up fairly. But it's really nice to team with somebody. The other thing is we have lenders to I mean, the lenders will come and sit with you. You just have to make a relationship with them. Most lenders, I used Jill Richardson for years. We had so much fun doing open houses. She was there every single open house. We would be together, and I gave her a lot of business. She gave me a lot of business, and it was just a good thing. And she was almost always at all my open houses. So team with somebody, don't be alone. If you are alone, you got to be really careful. There's many times that I felt uncomfortable with, you know, somebody coming in. I just pretend like I have a phone call. Whatever's in that house is not, you're there to protect yourself. So if you feel like you need to walk outside, you walk outside. If you are alone, you know, I've said, oh, I have to take this phone call, and I won't go back in until they're outside. So you have to be thinking, you know, where is an extra door to get out? Don't just be in a kitchen where there's no door and you're in there and three people come in, or, you know, wasp spray is a good thing to have because it goes clear across the room. And you can always carry a bottle of wasp spray. Yeah. When I first met my husband, he like looked in the back of the car and I had like 4 bottles of wasp spray. He's like, what? Do you have a wasp problem? I'm like, no, that's for open houses. I leave it on the counter. A police officer told me that because it's great. It doesn't look out of place. It's on the counter and you can spray that clear across the room. So
I think I just saw that on the news. Some lady was being assaulted at like a convenience
Yeah,
store.
I've seen that
She-
too.
Yeah, she had it and
Really
started spraying
far.
the dude. Yeah,
it shoots super far. Yeah, way across. You can control it good and not get yourself, you know. Yeah, so. Yeah, a police officer told me that walked through one of my open houses and came through and said, yeah, you should really have some protection.
I actually have experience with a problem person at an open house. There was a lady that was taking things out of open houses, and Chris and I
remember her.
She had visited my open house.
Me too.
Luckily, I saw what kind of car she was driving because I always do that. They stole something out of Chris's listing. I think they had a big like water bottle full of change. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how she left with that
Yeah.
thing, but I think she had told him to do something and then she took off. She told me to run comps on a property while she was upstairs.
She was a
Yeah,
mastermind at
so,
it, yeah.
Anyway, so if you have a 2-story
Mhm.
house, you might want to have 2 agents on that thing.
You should
I
have
think
2
they got me, though,
agents.
so.
Yeah, you need to have 2 people. I mean, that's just how it is. But yeah, she stole a lot of stuff before they
Let's
caught
see,
her.
She.
You know what she was
close.
doing? She had a fake pre-approval. And it was just a bank letter, so we wouldn't know. And she would send that over and she would call not the listing agent to show it. She would call somebody else and say, oh, I got your name online. I want to see this $1 million home. And then the agent would be like, oh my God, I have a buyer for $1 million home. And she would send them the fake pre-approval, and then she would go out and steal from the listing. Yeah. So interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that was a very good class and very good information. Thank you, ladies. Yes.
I look forward to the 2.0 version from Vince because he's sharp. So.
And a lot of you are new. You know, the title reps are doing this. They want to see you succeed, but give them your business when they're out here working for you and putting farms on your phone and stuff. Remember when you get those escrows to pass them on to these ladies.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
One more last hand. All right, guys. And we still got time for Jessica, so. Oh man, I can't see anything. Oh, no wonder I can't see anything. I don't have my glasses on. Okay. Bye, Deborah.